let's talk about music. When did you get into music? What was music like in your household?
Man,
Um, and how important is music to you?
man, music is my life. I'm not even joking, bro. Like, music is the spirit of my whole entire existence.
Yeah,
Like, I listen to music since I was born.
yeah.
Because, I mean, I get it from my mom and my dad. Because my mom's a pretty big music head, likes records. She loves, like, her disco. She loves a lot of her big, like, female vocalists and stuff. And my sister's more into that. But my dad, I mean, may his soul rest in peace. Yeah, he was, like, proper deep in his music. Like, used to ring up people on the day, like ring up people on Saturdays, like my grandma, for instance, on my mom's side, and just like call her up and just like play songs for her
Oh, that's
over the
amazing.
phone and stuff like that. So he was really into his vinyls, really into his like, just like a lot of music, a lot of, and so growing up, I used to make tapes, used to make CDs, used to like like I'd sit down for hours just recording like tapes or just
At what
recording
age was
videos.
this?
From like 4 or 5, like
Yeah.
literally just like you get the tapes out, put it in, and I'd be sitting there until that music video that I wanted came up so I could have that in my collection. So I have like a big Michael Jackson one of all these old tapes. And my mom used to record loads of them as well.
Yeah.
So I obviously picked that up, and then I used to make like a shit ton of mixtapes and stuff just to listen in the car on the way to school. And every time we went to America and England, I'd like, my cousin George, he was a DJ as well. So, and he's been a DJ since he was like 10 or something.
That's amazing.
And he used to do radio. So,
That's dope. Before we continue, it's so fun because you just reminded me of like what it was like in my household, other than playing football and soccer. I remember my mom used to tell me that every time music was on, I had a favorite artist that would come on, and I would just like stand around with like my diapers or just like my boxes, just like stunned and watching the TV. And eventually I started like singing the songs, and I was running around. Like, she thought that I was gonna be a singer or a musician when I was when I was older. She was like, all you wanted to do was be on stage.
do
Like
you have
that.
any recollection of?
Now that we're talking about this, that's and because I spoke to my mom about this, I think probably like last year. So like now it's like, oh man, it's actually
to
it's,
reverberate,
it's coming
yeah.
back now. But yeah, she used to tell me that I used to love music, and I still do. I knew that the whole time, but you saying that as when you were a kid at the age of 5, like recording, that's what I used to do as well. I used to like literally, just like every time music was on, I would run around, start dancing, and and then I realized I wasn't going to be a singer
What
because
was music? What was that like? I guess when you think about music, what was like even now?
Yeah.
What's it like for you?
well, when we were in Egypt, they were playing a lot of music from the States,
Yeah.
or just like big popular music.
Standard, yeah.
So I didn't hear a lot of. There probably was a lot of like African and South Sudanese music, but majority of the time, because I spent a lot of my time at home with my uncle because I was very young. Me and my young sister, we spent a lot of time together with my uncle, and he loved the American lifestyle.
Was it MTV?
I think so. I don't know what it was because I was in Egypt from I think 2000 to 2004. So I was there for like 4 years. And in that time, MTV would probably would have been massive.
Yeah,
My
MTV
uncle was
days.
just in love with American lifestyle. They sold that bullshit dream to him. So we would just always watch what he liked, which was just MTV and American stuff. And I remember listening to Shakira.
Yeah.
I remember listening to just all these American songs. So I never really got into like African music as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was what it was like, just listening and singing hit songs, and just my uncle would just love it. He was like, man, this kid's crazy. But that was music in my household. But then I remember, when we first moved here, my mom really started getting into, I started listening to my mom's music, which was some of the Sudanese music, and she loved music herself. My mom she loved singing, and that was one thing that women did when they got together in South Sudan. They would get together and record because they have amazing voices as well, and they've got this,
beautiful.
they've got this thing where they're like. I don't know what it's called or how to do it. I'm never going to try to attempt it, but it's amazing, and they do it so well. And if you were to go to a South Sudanese wedding, you would see how amazing their vocals are. And so my mom would always record tapes, and that's when I started learning or loving music. And I used to make music myself when I was a bit younger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
You
could.
playing instruments?
No, I used to be on the mic, not playing any instruments, but
sing
I used to try to tell my story a little bit. But I used to enjoy making music.
Yeah.
I played music for a long time. Made music for a long time. I did drums as well. I used to love drums. But I think my mom was always too busy with work that we never really did music as much. We never really, I never pursued playing.
There's never enough time to nurture
Exactly.
it a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like where our families are usually just so preoccupied. Like,
For sure.
Living. But it's so funny how much is still in their day to day. Like
For sure.
they need it constantly.
Yeah. So yeah, that was something that you basically just opened up just by talking and telling your story there, which I love. Thank you so much for that. But
Hey,
what I was gonna say is because my household, we didn't really have a specific person my mom used to listen to, or But you said before that your mom was big with female vocalists.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of the female vocalists she listens to?
My mom loved a lot of disco, so you
Ah, okay.
everything from like Charlamagne. She loved Donna Summer. She loves Donna Summer, Shaka Khan, all that kind of vibes.
And are these all artists from the States?
Yeah,
Okay.
mostly from the States. And I remember she also used to be obsessed with Barbra Streisand as well. Like on the way to church, some days she had this Yentl tape, and she'd be singing. I'd be like, "Papa, what is going on?" My sister and I'd be like, "What is going on?" She'd be like, "Papa, can you hear me?" She used to be like, "Whoa."
That's amazing. And did you have any siblings that are also into music?
Yeah, my sisters are quite into music as well.
Did you guys have different types of genres and love for music in the household, or was it like you loved this because your mum loved this?
Nah, we all have our particular taste. My whole family's like that.
Yeah.
Everyone has specific things, and we have like a genre of styles that we all appreciate as collectively, whether it's Afrobeat, disco, funk, just stuff of that nature. But when you start getting into things like house music and stuff, like everyone starts to deviate. Like my sister, absolutely. My younger sister hates house music. She detests it.
What did she like? What music did she enjoy?
She loves like female vocalists.
Ah,
Like
okay.
that. So she loves singers, like people who sing and stuff. Whether it's like the Beyoncés, the Shaka Khans, or your like Jasmine Sullivan, or what's not Jasmine Sullivan? What's my girl's name? It's not Kelly Price. It's not Jill Scott. I can't remember her name. But basically anything of that vibe.
Yeah, just great female vocalists.
Great female vocalist.
Yeah.
She really, really loves that.
What about Aretha Franklin?
Yeah, like my mom and sister, they die for her.
Yeah, that's amazing. So let's talk about in Nigeria. You were listening to a lot of like disco, a lot of
stuff. I was into a lot of G-funk. I was into a lot of hip hop.
Oh, yeah.
I was listening to like a shit ton of hip hop, a lot of grime.
Yeah.
Grime, hip hop. I love my disco because my mom would do it. That was for me. That was like festivities.
Yeah.
What else was I really?
Because
into
when
at the time?
when you got to UK, you started listening to more house music, right?
Yeah, I was always into dance music, but like I didn't. You know what? It took me only very recently to only very recently did I find out the genres that like the names of genres I was into, but couldn't quite capture it at the time.
Yeah.
Like growing up, listening to a lot of my mom loved reggae, my aunties as well. Like one of my mom's best friends. She's from Antigua, up in London. So through her, I'm listening to a lot of like ska. I'm listening to a lot of Lovers, specifically like Lovers rock.
I love that song.
Yeah. So when you're hearing that style,
I thought Sade was like
I
like
don't
not
think Lovers
new.
rock the genre, but yeah, Sade as
Oh,
well.
is there a genre? See, I'm that ignorant. I don't know much about music.
Yeah, you would if you heard Lovers Rock, you'd recognize it. It's like a
So-
lot sweeter. It's just like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that here.
Yeah.
But Sade as well grew up, and then
Yeah.
I was obsessed with Sade because I just couldn't fathom how she was Nigerian.
Is
I was
she?
like, yeah, because her name, she's Yoruba, so her name, she was born in Nigeria and then moved to England. So
There you
her
go.
full name is Fola Sade. You know, my name is Folarin.
Yeah.
My name is Fola Sade.
So what with the flow at the start? Does that mean anything or?
Technically, it's a sentence. So like Folarin is like Fi Ola Rin, which Fi is like to use, Ola is wealth, and then Rin it means to walk.
Oh wow.
So it's using wealth to walk. So Fola Sade's one is Fi Ola Sade, like using wealth to build the crown. So that's her name, and then they sort of like sort of smash, like what is this? Just squash it into one word. So rather than be like Fi Olarin, essentially every time they're talking to me like wealth walks.
Yeah.
How you doing?